in the personal training, doing various things with Righteous. It was one of those things that it was a great time. I can't sit there and say that I don't want to go too much into detail with this. With a person I end up dating and being in a relationship with, because it was a short period of time. But at the end of the day, she really was a great gal. It's just different lifestyles, different things. One's going this way in this direction, and I'm kind of going in another. Sometimes don't mean that shit don't that you don't care about each other. It's just at that time I took it the wrong way. So fast.
Was that? I've been around for a while, so was that one of the
good one? Well, actually, probably one of the only good ones I actually had that I've dated.
Did I get to meet her?
Yeah, you met her.
They came to
barbecue. Barbecue. Her and her daughter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, her and her daughter. We came to your house.
Yeah.
Anyway, so of course I ended up making a change. I moved back to Riverside for a little while. Stayed out with a friend, rented a room. It's kind of close to her, but that wasn't the reason why I moved. I just wanted to make kind of a change and everything. But
maybe go back to the roots
where I think I started, and just kind of like get a fresher breath there. But I will say this, and you know about it. Remember when I said it the first time? I had a near life death experience, and we've had multiple, even when we were running the streets, right? When you lose yourself, and this is not in any way, shape, or form. I don't hold her accountable for any of this because it had nothing to do with her. It had to do with how I handled the situation. So, heartbroken, devastated. December 23rd. How many times I've contemplated suicide, right, from depression, all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I told you after the fact. I think when I told you I was going to move back, I told you after the fact, and I think I was like maybe 2 or 3 days of moving back up here. I ended up, I'll get into that later, but I literally tried to kill myself. I popped a whole bottle of some prescription pills that she gave me because I had some pains because of an injury, non-gym related. That's another story in itself. But anyway, it ended up, I ended up getting those, and I downed it with like 32 ounces of Old English. I drove off somewhere. I ended up somewhere in Ontario, parked in a parking lot because it was empty, and thought that was it. All I know is I faded out. Somewhere along the line, woke up with a bunch of vomit all over me. Pretty much pissing brown, shitting black, threw up just horribly. It took me like literally 6 days to recover. And
that's pretty tough, man.
And so by that time, I ended up going to Oklahoma to visit Eric for a week, and then I came back, and then I came back up here, back to the Antelope Valley. I will say from that experience, when you can't cope with certain things and you have low self-esteem issues, you don't really feel value or self-worth of anything. It's very easy, as hard as I worked over the years trying to better myself and do things for the public and just being the person that I truly genuinely am, you can get into some dark places as well, and those demons come and they can taunt you when you're at your weakest. So I had one of the most weakest points in my life, but at the same time, I could say after that incident, it did change me, and I don't think for the good in a lot of ways, because I lack certain things. So like when real bad shit happens to me, there's no tears, there's no cry. I don't really have empathy or sympathy over things that maybe people go through as much, because it's like, for me, it's like when you take your life, with the intent, not just the intention, but the action of actually going there, and you go through the whole process. The only thing is that you woke up, you didn't die.
Yeah.
And when people sit there and talk about death, they talk about like angels and seeing the gates and family members, I will say this: it was absolutely nothing. I completely phased out. So I don't know if that's hell or what, or I was in limbo or whatever the hell it was. But there was definitely no pearly gates. There was no whatever. It was just I figured out. Straight darkness as if I didn't exist on this planet anymore. So that's probably the worst, out of it all. So, needless to say, after that situation, I ended up getting with a couple. They started Challenge Fitness, working with disabled youth.
Yeah.
For those with disabilities and limitations, and I had the privilege to work with them. The condition was I stayed with them. They let me stay there, rent really low, really cheap, but I would have to give my services to the kids. And that in itself is probably one of the most rewarding experiences. It took away a lot of that pain that I was still dealing with even after the fact of all that.
But it did help out.
Yeah, because
Help
it's
you
like
cope
it's like
mentally.
it's like watching this young gentleman, to watch him with picture like being a pretzel, like born a pretzel, like no legs, no nothing.
I think I seen video of you
Yeah.
helping that kid out.
Yeah. So for his desire to want to be able to work out, body build, stuff like that, put on muscle, and he'll try to do things on his own with being limitation. It made me realize right then and there that here's a person